Another YouTube comment coming at you live, December 2015. Keeping it real. Food for thought. There's lots of things that exist in the world, and one of the things that I'm going to point out today, as I did before, I'm going to talk about domestic terrorism. The meaning of domestic terrorism is commonly associated with violent acts committed by citizens or permanent residents of a state against their own people or property, quote, eminent domain, whatever property, within the state without foreign influence in an effort to instill fear on a population or government as a tactic designed to advance political aspects. Now, that's the meaning of domestic terrorism. Now, when you break it down with this, starts off with domestic terrorism is commonly associated with violent acts committed by citizens. Domestic terrorism, that's what exists today in America. Violent acts committed by citizens or permanent residents of a state or country. They want to say that there are foreign terrorists in the United States of America, which is not true. And the form of domestic terrorism breaks it down and to say that domestic terrorism is commonly associated with violent acts committed by citizens or permanent residents of a state against their own people or property within the state without foreign influence. That's what really exists in the United States of America. Domestic terrorism. We terrorize each other on a larger scale more than any other country there is that exists. And then the United States government tried to sugarcoat it, or should I say, make you think there is foreign terrorism. But it isn't. It's most domestic. A civil war is domestic, so when you have these violent acts that are committed against citizens by another citizen, it's domestic. And I could break it down with domestic relation violence, black on black crime, police officer killing citizens. So we terrorize each other more on a large scale. Then we're going to break it down more to the point of when it says there's no foreign influence. None. No foreign influence when it comes to domestic terrorism. Then it breaks it down to just say, in an effort to instill fear on the population. So when you have domestic terrorism, of course, we're going to be all in fear of each other in the United States of America. And we're going to go out and buy guns on a large scale. So does that make the problem better? No, that increases the problem by arming yourself. Because we are so dangerous against each other, we want to arm ourselves for safety. Safety purposes. And it shouldn't be like that. Then it goes on to say to instill fear on a population or government as a tactic to design the advancement of political aspects. We have other countries that do this domestic terrorism against a regime that is dominating them, so that's that aspect. But in the United States, we are doing it on the perspective of terrorizing each other. Domestic terrorism is on a large scale in the United States, and it has been proven over the multiple years that has passed with each other killing each other. Way before Columbine, way before Jim Crow. This country has been built on domestic terrorism upon its citizens. Before, it wasn't considered domestic terrorism, it was just considered slavery. But today we have domestic terrorism on a large scale where we are actually killing each other more so than anyone else. Foreign. Food for thought, keeping it real.